The Houseboy contract. Welcome back, guys. Tonight's story is about a job that gave a young man everything he thought he wanted. A bed, a car, a family, and then made sure he could never leave it as himself. He was 19 when she found him. Jordan Price had crossed an ocean to get away from home. London behind him, Atlanta in front of him. He had 2 suitcases, 1 half-dead phone, and a job at an expensive midtown restaurant that liked his accent more than his resume. He worked late, took whatever shifts they gave him, and walked home with his tips in his pocket, counting cash by streetlight. That was where she came in. Her name was Renee Carter. Mid-40s, flawless braids, simple gold jewelry that was never simple. She came in often, sometimes alone, sometimes with girlfriends, sometimes with a man she called my partner, in a tone that sounded like paperwork. She always asked for Jordan's section. "Let him take us," she'd tell the host. "He doesn't forget orders." He didn't sit unless he was told to. Renee always told him to. "Sit a second," she'd say, patting the chair beside her. "Your manager can survive 1 empty table." She asked about England, about his mother, about why he left. He answered the way you answer customers. Enough to be polite, not enough to be real. She watched him like she was listening between the lines. She left big tips, bigger than made sense. Sometimes double the bill. "Get yourself something decent to eat," she'd say. "You look like you're living on staff meal." He was. He smiled anyway. The call came on his day off. He didn't recognize the number. "Hello." "Hi, love," a woman's voice said. "It's Renee, from the restaurant." His stomach tightened. He'd seen servers get in trouble for things they didn't remember doing. "Yes, ma'am," he said. "Don't sound so scared," she said. "I'm not calling to complain. I'm calling to offer you a job." They met at a coffee shop that smelled like roasted beans and money. She bought his drink without asking what he wanted. It arrived exactly how he took it. "I need a houseboy," she said. "Someone to take care of the house. Groceries, cleaning, cars, packages. And I get lonely. My partner travels a lot. I don't like being in a big place by myself." He waited. "You'd live in," she went on. "Your own room, your own bathroom. No rent, salary on top of that. I don't like strangers in my space, so I'd rather bring someone I already know I can stand." He thought about his shared room in a crumbling building, about the bus schedule he knew too well, about the way his hands shook counting money at the end of each week. "How much?" he asked. She named a number. It was more than he earned in a month. He said yes. The house was in a gated subdivision north of the city. Wide streets, quiet cars, every lawn trimmed, every driveway clean. Her place sat at the end of a curve. Big, but not gaudy. Stone, glass, warm light. There were cameras at the front door and a keypad on the garage. Inside, the air smelled like something expensive he couldn't name. "This is your room," she said, opening a door upstairs. It had a queen bed with new sheets, a real dresser, a window that looked over trees, not brick. There were folded towels on the chair. "Closet's empty," she said. "Bathroom's through there. I didn't put a lock on the door. I don't like locked doors in my house. But you're safe here. Nobody's going to bother you." He glanced at the plain handle. "You don't lock your bedroom?" he asked. She gave him a small smile. "I don't live with people I need to hide from." she said. You won't either. Not anymore. It sounded like reassurance. It was also a rule. The work at first was simple. Morning, take out trash, wipe counters, sweep the hardwood floors. Midday, sign for deliveries, bring in groceries, wipe down the cars. Evening, cook easy dinners. Pasta, roasted chicken, rice, and vegetables. Run the dishwasher. Check the doors. The other part of the job didn't have a name. After dinner, she would sit on the couch with a glass of wine and pat the cushion at the far end. Sit, she'd say. You look like you're about to sprint. Relax. Talk to me. He sat. He listened. She talked about clients who wasted her time, about co-workers who took credit for her work, about a sister who only called when she needed money, about the way her partner left suitcases half unpacked. Like he's never fully here or fully gone. Sometimes she asked about him, about what he wanted. He didn't know how to answer that. You're a good listener, she said. Men your age don't listen. They just wait to talk. It felt like praise. He was hungry for praise. He stayed on the couch. The generosity came early. You can't keep that phone, she said one afternoon, watching him fight with his cracked screen. If there's an emergency, I need to reach you. We're putting you on my plan. At the store, she added a line to her account. Got him a new smartphone, paid for insurance. I'll take care of the bill, she said. You focus on being available. That's the job. A week later, she looked at his banking app while he paid for groceries. Prepaid card? She clicked her tongue. No, you're not a tourist. You're building a life. We're opening a proper account, joint, so I can help if something happens. They went to a bank. The manager shook her hand, not his. He's with me, she told them. You can trust him. She co-signed. He signed. The numbers on the screen belonged to both of them. You're under my umbrella, she said on the way out. That's what family does. The last piece was the restaurant. You shouldn't be killing yourself at that place, she told him. You look dead on your feet half the time you come home. Quit. You have a job here. Eat, sleep. Take a class or two. Use your brain for something other than refilling drinks. When she said it like that, it sounded like concern. He quit. After that, most of his world fit inside her house, her car, and the little rectangle of light in his hand that she paid for. The control slid in quietly. She wanted a text every morning. Good morning, Renee. If he forgot, she would appear in his doorway with her robe pulled tight. You alive? She'd say. You can't just vanish. I worry. When he went out, she wanted details. Where are you going? With who? How late? He started answering before she asked. If he stayed out later than he said, his phone buzzed. You okay? Where are you? Send me a picture. He sent one once. Him at a bar, friends in the background, a game on the TV. She zoomed in on the faces. Who's that? She asked later, tapping the screen. She looks like trouble. I don't like her energy. It's just a friend of a friend, he said. Unfollow her, Renee said. I don't want you around people who don't take life seriously. He unfollowed. It was easier than arguing. Her partner, Derek, came and went. He was older than Jordan, younger than Renee. Expensive watch. Calm voice. At the beginning, he and Jordan were polite. You landed on your feet, Derek said once, nodding around the house. Most kids don't. Don't mess it up. Jordan took that as approval. Over time, Derek's gaze changed. He would come home from the airport and find Jordan in the kitchen, stirring a pot while Renee leaned against the counter, talking about her day. He would walk in, and the story would stop. The air would shift. "You two are joined at the hip," Derek said one night, not quite a joke. Renee laughed like it was one. "He's easy company," she said. "You could take notes." By 21, Jordan hadn't slept anywhere else in months. He didn't bring people to the house. That was one of her rules. "I don't let strangers in my bedroom," she said. "You shouldn't either. People are messy. They bring bad energy. You don't know what they want." If he wanted to see someone, he had to meet them outside and return alone. "Text me when you get there," she'd say. "Text me when you're leaving. If you don't answer me, I'm calling your mother and the police." She smiled when she said it. The first time he let a message sit for half an hour, his phone exploded with notifications, calls, voicemails. When he walked through the door, she was on the couch, TV frozen. "I thought you were dead in a ditch," she said, voice shaking. "I was about to drive out there. Do you know what that does to me?" He apologized. She cried. "You're my safe person," she said. "If I don't know where you are, I can't breathe." The language was about safety. The effect was ownership. The emotional work grew heavier. On bad days, she didn't argue with Derek. She walked past him and came straight to Jordan's doorway. "Can you talk?" she'd say, already stepping in. She sat on the edge of his bed and poured herself out. Work frustrations, family resentments, money fears she never mentioned in daylight. He listened. It was his paid role and his practiced habit. When he started to nod off at 3 in the morning, she snapped her fingers. "Stay with me," she said, suddenly sharp. "I'm trying to keep it together, and you're checking out." He forced his eyes open, tried to be present. Later, she stopped waiting for anything to happen. Some nights she knocked without any obvious reason, feelings already overflowing. "I can't sleep," she said. "My mind won't stop. I need you to absorb some of this, or I'll lose it." He learned that if he was calm, she was calmer. If he was anxious, she climbed walls. Her moods hooked themselves around his like wires. He wasn't just cleaning her kitchen. He was holding her nervous system. The money piled up. In theory, every month she transferred his pay into the joint account. "Look at that," she'd say, showing him the number on her phone. "You came here with nothing. Now you're building something real. One day that'll be a down payment. One day that's your safety net." He believed her. He wanted to. He didn't notice how often she said "we" when she talked about it. "We're building you up. We're setting you up. We're making sure you never have to go back. We. The crack finally showed on a Tuesday night. Jordan was in the kitchen, rinsing plates. Renee sat at the island with a glass of wine. Derek stood by the sink, flipping through his phone. They were all tired. The kind of tired that makes little things sharp. "You going to tell him, or should I?" Derek asked suddenly. Renee didn't look up. "Tell who what?" "Jordan," Derek said. "Tell him why every time he leaves for more than 4 hours, you act like somebody stole your car." Jordan froze with his hands in the water. "Don't start," Renee said. "I'm late," Derek continued, "to my own life. Because every time we plan anything, we have to check with your houseboy's emotional schedule. She stiffened. Don't call him that. What should I call him? Derek asked. You don't talk to me like this. You save the deep talks for him. You check his location more than you check mine. You light up when his text comes in, and you sigh when mine does. Renee stared at him, jaw tight. You're being dramatic, she said. I'm being replaced, he said quietly, by somebody you pay. That line hung in the air. Jordan stared at the sink. Bubbles slid down the plates in his hands. He heard Derek's chair scrape back. I'm not staying to watch you pretend this is normal, Derek said. You two have a good life. Clearly I'm extra. He left his glass on the counter, picked up his overnight bag, and walked out the back door. The alarm beeped softly as it armed itself behind him. Renee didn't cry. She just stared at the empty space where Derek had been. Then she turned her eyes to Jordan. She came to his room at 3 a.m. He'd slept badly. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Derek's face when he said the word replaced. Renee opened the door without knocking. He sat up. She stood there in a robe, arms folded. He left, she said. Jordan knew that. He had heard the car. I'm sorry, he said. She stepped inside. Don't be, she said. He's been halfway out the door for years. You know that. You've listened to me talk about it. She sat on the edge of his bed. Her eyes were bright, not red. Too awake. I chose who really shows up for me, she said. He walked. You stayed. That matters. Renee, he said. This isn't healthy. Her gaze sharpened. What part? She asked. The part where I took you out of that rat hole you were renting? The part where I put a real phone in your hand? The savings account you wouldn't have without me? The credit history with my name keeping you from sinking? He swallowed. I'm grateful, he said. You know that. But I'm not your... She cut him off. Be very careful with that sentence, she said softly. Silence pressed against the walls. You can leave, she said. You're not a hostage. You can pack a bag, walk out that front door, and see how far 19-year-old Jordan gets in this country a second time. She started counting on her fingers. No landlord is calling you back without my reference. No bank is letting you keep that credit line. The car? In my name. The account? My signature. You think any of my clients will hire you behind my back? All they have to do is call me and ask if you're reliable. She leaned closer. And what do you think I'll say? She asked quietly. If you leave me, like everyone else did. He looked at her. I wouldn't tell them you stole, she said. I'm not cruel. But I'd tell them you're impulsive, unstable, that you walk away when things get hard. Nobody wants that liability on their payroll. Not at your level. She straightened her robe. I didn't just give you money, Jordan, she said. I built you. You like who you are now? Good. So do I, but don't forget whose name is under every brick. She stood up. You want out? She said. Walk. But understand something. She turned off the light. If you go, you don't take the man I made with you. You go as the boy bussing tables in hand-me-down shoes. And I don't think you remember how cold that felt. She closed the door behind her. There was no lock on his side. He did leave. Not that night. Not that week. The knowledge sat inside him like a stone. He saw her name under his phone plan, on the car registration, on the savings account, on the emergency contact line. He started to imagine his life with those erased. It took almost a year. A small freelance job that paid cash, a cheap second phone, quiet conversations at a library computer not his own, a friend on the other side of the city with a spare couch and no questions. One afternoon, while she was at a spa, he put his main phone on the kitchen counter, left the car in the garage, took a backpack and walked out through the front door. The alarm beeped. He knew the code now. He disarmed it, then armed it again from the outside. He did not slam the door. Later, she called his mother in England, a cousin in New York, a co-worker from the restaurant he still had on Instagram. "I'm worried about him," she said. "He's not well. He's making reckless choices. If he reaches out, please tell me. I need to keep him safe." That was the story she told. It was close enough to the truth to stick. He is 29 now. He rents a small, clean apartment in another city. The couch is his. The dishes are his. The bills are in his own name. He works a job that doesn't require anyone's permission but his own. When employers run his history, his years with her still show up as a line that doesn't quite fit. 5 years listed as house manager for a private residence, they say. No other employment, no secondary reference. Can you explain that? He talks about responsibility, trust, discretion. He does not talk about 3 a.m. conversations where his own feelings never entered the room. Sometimes, he still wakes up before dawn with his hand reaching for a phone that isn't there. The reflex is older than his new life. He lies there in the dark and waits for the urge to pass. He doesn't miss her voice. He misses, for a moment, the version of himself who never had to decide anything alone. That's the part of control people don't talk about. It doesn't end when you move out. It doesn't end when you change cities. It ends the day you stop asking yourself what they would think if they saw you now. For 5 years, every door that opened for Jordan had her name written under the frame. He got out. But he still knows, deep down, that whoever builds you can always try to claim you. And some nights, that feels closer than any locked door.
Thank you for listening to The Storyteller's Moon. If this story touched you, scared you, or kept you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps the stories alive, and I can't wait to share the next one with you under the moonlight. Until then, may your nights be safe and your dreams unforgettable.